bank. Cheese. Eat bank. Yeah. Don't wear bank. Hey, Henny, Moe, that be what we like. Amen, Shocker, that be what we like. Purple Pie, Bloomba, that be what we like. As on the girls, Batties, I know be what we like. Rolly, Patek, that be what we like. Oliver Twist, Luna, that be what we like. Zanotis, Jordans, that be what we like. Wearing full Banku, that know be what we like. Okay, I don't go, that be what we like. Text now, hang out, that be what we like. Amen, under, that be what we like. Claiming fake Jay-Z, that don't be what we like. When you keep it real, I can relate to. You know, keep it real, I know relate to. Eat back. All your life, it be like. Don't worry about. Keep it real till I die. Eat back. All your life, it be like. Don't worry about. Keep it real till I die. Cash up, PayPal, that be what we like. Range Rover, Porsche, that be what we like. African girls, Caribbean girls, that be what we like. Claiming fake Kanye, that be what we like. Duna, Bobby, that be what we like. Richard Millie, all the mall, that be what we like. Eat your fuel, Momo fuel, that be what we like. Everyday fool, Banku, that be what we like. When you keep it real, I can relate to. You know, keep it real, I know relate to. Eat bank. All your life, it be like. Don't wear bank. Keep it real till I die. Eat bank. All your life, it be like. Don't wear bank. Keep it real till I die. Full banku, 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 full banku. I get a give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. I visit them down to the no girl, I will come and don't cheat.
Last two, you know how we
my number, my work, let me have a visit. I tell we all day. I visit them down to the no girl, I will come and don't cheat.
So yeah, that's it. Wait, I feel like that.
My number, my work, let me have a visit me do a bow. I tell we all day.
What's that?
Charlie, I'ma give me the mic. Obakama kudu buji woyo buko woyo kama.
Look at that.
Charlie, I'ma give me the mic. Mina shima moja kwa moji tomo moji meshia hama. Manyaba mabuba mavado wa fisi kama duagbo. Kaja wenya alpha klo omega. Ena na mo phone do yamba madubo da. Akodo pinya koda shina de lafia jamoza. Adanu wato kom de pokwa jima winya kan. Anyaba majiba madango in the present. Edem Dana, Edem Kana. Wow. Edem Dana no filter that. Wasikula for the fia kukuna tadeta gumpa na do. Na plus swallow that too. Mama kuma check what two kana boo. I get the last two. I visit me down to the woman, but the girl, I will come and don't cheat. I tell we all day. My number, my work, me have a visit me do a bow. I tell we all day. I visit me down to the woman, but the girl, I will come and don't cheat. I tell we all day. My number, my work, me have a physical me do a bow. I tell we all day. Yenya alpha flow omega. Yeah, my bum, I'm in your gun. Yeah, when a genetic person. Kamagabu, Nisika, ya dogo yawo. Ava mode. Yawe nyanya, kwasa sanore. The rock of ages. Yena kana kom, Joe Sika, Iwoji, Masada Agba. Alana, and I hear what the China de Canada. Yenya Alpha Omega Loe.
We're the bar now.
Yeah, so let me
I was for the day, when I go through what you want to take. I was on the key, but you went to the cafe.
are we good now? Let me turn on. If I turn on my camera,
Look at your woman, I'm going to be the pause. Miss Bawa, but you're not hearing me sound. I'm a TSC town, you still began your behind to be good down. What you decide who got to be the account of a bank account. Hey, I want to know what Kukurukas are having us. I price to have been a hobby with academic from Pabra. What you never want with food, but what the band would be data so you could talk about the Sakua if you want to come and find another.
Turn me up. Why not chop?
I get Edem.
Over the phone for the
Give it up, give it up.
Give it up, give it up.
I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat.
Last two, you know how
We own it. My number, my work for me, about the physical me do a bow. I tell we own it. I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat. I tell we own it. My number, my work for me, about the physical me do a bow. I tell we own it.
What's that?
Charlie, I'ma give me the mic. Obakama kudo buji woyo buko woyo kama.
Look at that.
Charlie, I'ma give me the mic. Bina shima moja kulumoji toma moji meshia hama. Manyaba mabuba mavado wa fisi kama duogo. Keja wenya alpha plus omega. And I know my phone do him my do but that I could opinion koda shina de la fete moza. I don't know what talk on the pocket ma winya gun. Anyaba majiba ma dongo in the present. Edem Dana, Edem Kana. Wow. Edem Dana no filter that eh. Wasikula for the fia kukuna tadeta gun kana do na blast swallow that too. Mama kuma check on two kana boo. I get the last two.
I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat. I tell we own it. My number, my work for me, about the physical me do a bow. I tell we own it. I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat. I tell we own it. My number, my work for me, about the physical me do a bow. I tell we own it.
Yenya alpha plus omega. Yema ba mwenye gun. Yekwa na genetic plazan. Kama gabu nisika ya dogo yawo. Ava mode. Yawe nyanya kwa sasa no. The rock of ages. Yena kanya bom. Jo asika iwoji saga agba. Kala na buba ya wanana ye wadinchi nyede kuna dalapa. Yenya alpha plus omega lo
We're the born now. Yeah, I'm a back and I can be a power for the day. Even I could see what you want to take. I was on the team, but when the cafe, remember that I would do, but I wouldn't have to take one can and I would do something about property. After that, I could see a woman of 2 pounds. I'm like a cannabis bar, but you're not hearing me sound. I'm a TSC town, you still began your behind to be good down. When you decide who got to be the account of a bank account. Hey, I want to know what Kukurukas are having us. I price to have been a hobby with academic from Pabra. But you never want with food, but what the band would be data so you could talk about the Sakua if you want to come and find another. Something to when I say what you mean to be whatever, but you never let us say what you're again. And when you could have to say, I'm a figure making in the chair, maybe send it what they I care when you was go wash my way when you tune in the look for fair. When the will be able to be a and the Biago, the Banabia, I think I'm moving to market. I'm going to start like a baby to wish coming at the book. I mean, you could have maybe dinner with the book in the coffee. I bet a chance of it up in the 12 for the number that I go off to which I see some of them a boss. Now nobody for course, I bet if I don't stop being a dear to the coffee that was shop, listen, I will give you a round of applause.
I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat. What tell we own it. My number, my work for me, about the physical me do a bow. I tell we own it. I physically me down to the woman, no dog, I'm going to cheat. I tell we own it.
Michael Asian, I go play the midfield for you with no hesitation.
And girl, I the one be your Maradona. I go handle your body, I go be your number one Casanova.
Hey, girl, I the one be your DJ Drogba. I go pick up to your heart for you. I go buy you Range Rover.
And girl, I the one be your world Pele. I go set a better record for you if you wanna be my baby.
Baby, I can be your Jack Power. Put my life on the line for you every 24 hours.
And baby, if I take me, Michael Scofield, I go break out of prison for you, baby girl, cause I want you. Yes, so I go treat you better all day, me, I know you need pressure.
DJs. Ghana, stand up. Black Star DJs worldwide about to make history for Ghana music. For the first time ever, over 200 of their favorite top Ghanaian DJs across the world coming together to create the largest online Ghana music platform to the Black Star DJs. Black Star DJs. All your top Ghanaian DJs worldwide. Follow the Black Star DJs movement on Facebook and Instagram for updates at Black Star DJs worldwide. Or visit our website now to book top Ghanaian DJs for your next event. Anywhere in the world at www.blackstardjs.com. Let's go, Ghana.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. But I go by the name DJ Quakes, based in the Maryland area. Welcome to the Spotlight Show. Today, we have a big one, a massive one. We all know this superstar. Edem, welcome to the show, Black Star DJs. We've been waiting for you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. We were supposed to do this long time ago, but I think the timing is perfect. So anywhere you are in the world, Miawe Zone, which is in Ewe, Akwaba, which is in Ghana, which is in Akan. And so big up to everybody watching us live right now.
Nice one. Thanks for honoring our invitation. By our tradition, Black Star DJs is a network of top Ghanaian DJs all over the world. So, by our tradition, we always want to make sure when we bring our artists, we celebrate them. So we always start off with a special set just for you. So we have DJ Kwasanti, one of our top DJs in the UK, lined up for a quick 3-minute set. Kwasanti, let's go.
Oh, I hear the classic in the background right now.
Don't just stand there. Don't just stand there and watch. Well, you just heard the man murder the music like that. You're just gonna stand there and watch. Last two. I never know to walk about Joe. Come my judge, I won't come about Joe. Charlie, I won't come in. Murder. Look at God, I'm much. I heard I tell I told I go boy, you said but I to swim at your phone. I will block her. Please pay attention. Adam last to representing. No matter go Japan, I'm in production. Masakula Nichis, you got a Joe, Jim, Vivina. Nafaka Fana, for the back for Jonia with Tina. The more beginner. I'm a gonna, but I'm a done with I'm a Vavi comica. What's a G. Now we want a few at home, 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 now we want a few at home. Black out. This is the 31st century. This is
the new shit.
Mad time. Nobody's chasing anything.
How you good? Murder.
Adivina mini me and I felt dread. In Wupako in Chinwom, I no dread. Kana untia female can really chow blade. A bracket ya will rather soon. Hey, now what do your face? As some way I may make a nine case. Why Henry Shella, you have mountains. Why I you see come and make your ways. For you the grace, where to you the say. I be you the place. For people the chase. Who feel woman way need a man insane. Where Jale Casa, where Jim and Marsh and the king. Made the mouth full fail, made the mouth.
How about your for up tie in your control, Bobby Buster Rhymes? No way on your 50 cent, the Gina Usher lines. Catcha, hey, catcha, hey, catcha, now, Buba, you're not Belém, Peluda Chris. Allo, ya, in your Sacramona, Jada Kiss. Catcha, hey, catcha, hey, catcha, catcha, hey, catcha, hey, catcha, catcha. Alakiba, ya, your queen, your coco, Lil Wayne. I don't get Coco Maganima tea. Catcha, hey, catcha, hey, catcha, catcha, hey, catcha, hey, catcha, catcha. I go digata away in your Osukasi. I am a gata in your Laponi PDD. New strategy, my gut and my time at the G. Real back again, my teeth, my one of the G. I don't press a academy, low one, no apology. Real tough shot, tata, cool girl, so G. Me, mommy, and I'm more. It's a fun across the soul. That was wrong, happy, my dog. My God, I'm a woman. Oh, my guy, you know, what talk.
Let me see if you remember this one. Okay. We're going back into yesterday. If you don't know this one, hey, then you don't belong to the movie fraternity. Okay.
Yep. Bra, yummy, bra, what up? My Shimo Gaka and your Wutombe do your cheddar. Bra, call me, bra. Hey, shut up, Nanya Dora, come up with Nana, come up with Joe Kaba. Bra, call me, yummy, nada. You put your color, but you come to me in a city, me don't want you make for girls. Oh, don't be this guy, this string, super, they must have got the water, but a bird. Nanya the Kaki Kono, do lipo, yeah, for Fomba, you're running, Yajo. What a trum, Halukom, Hago, Magafomba, Yado, my Himoha, Ajro, Atawabla, Abadadina Solima, Magafomba, Yayo, Alawahama, Adam. Yeah, Bubamanya, Yabaha. Adam Bama Gafomba, Yayo. Ole, oh, he Ajibana, Yoni Bana, ni Bakes. But to be, let him, yeah, Bubamanya, Yabaha. Ole, Adam Bama Gafomba, Yayo. Now, oh, he Ajibana,
all right,
Okay, who knows this one? I love this shoe so much. But today, I have to tell me the meaning of the song.
Last two.
Okay.
That's right.
One of the new ones as well. Now you know who we are. and who you're coming against today. No man Edem is in the building. Okay. All right.
Ladies and gents, my
right.
lyrics and rhyme. See, man, my show no see that genius so many times. Please have a seat in on you, Kona, me singing young. When I get when you're the cocky in my prime, you're young, not the water fine. As I'm a quite that she come up, but she was mine. But now, would you never send Mama called you my love, but she, but when they were when you bring your go, okay, alone. You must go no more, would throw a joy in a my year with all. But when they were upon the door, you know, call you that jam away alone. At the teach I would do over the Manyama Dongo. Me do what me, I do something my job by 11. She go down here, busy, wall, she walk with 7. I see my grandma poop up, my wood all I want to heaven. Check out when you let I love you, but
once again, welcome to the Spotlight Show. Edem, man, if we're going in the archives, we'll be here for days.
Go get it.
Yo, Edem, I've been circling on your music all week this week, man, and I'm like, I don't know how you're doing, man. Your library is thick. Your library is thick. You've been doing it for a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Without a doubt.
You know, but it's you know, I've been listening to your music for a while, but I think we met. I don't know if you remember this, but I think we met once at the Ghana embassy in DC.
Yes, that's about six to 5 years ago.
Yes.
I think I was in the company of Obuo and some other artists from Ghana. Yeah.
Right. Oh
yeah.
Man, you got
remember.
Yes.
My yes, I remember clearly.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, and I think Lillian also tried to put us in touch at some point.
Yes. Hey, may her soul rest in peace. You know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man,
she was late
so
to rest yesterday. Yeah. So may her soul rest in peace, and may her mother's soul also rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah, quite sad. So, hey, Lillian, wherever you are, you always wanted us to be black stars and shining everywhere. So we are here. We are making you proud.
We're here. She did so much. She did so much for African music in general, and I feel like
so much.
But happy to be talking to you once again, my brother.
Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to do it for Ghana and Africa one time.
Exactly. So let me tell you this, Edem. What your music is great, but when I also hear you speak in interviews, or other places, I feel like sometimes you're also like a philosopher or an activist or something of that sort, because you speak so well and you're so thoughtful, and it's like you have you have the community, you really care about the industry, your community, and things that really just make the society better. Is this who you've always been, or this is you've grown to become this person?
I definitely have grown, but I think that you only become a more improved version of yourself, depending on the people you associate with and the kind of belief. Probably should be getting paid to do interviews, I guess, since everybody likes my interview.
I'm sure you can be making a lot of money off of that too. Yep.
No, but I mean, I think I've always been a thoughtful person. I've always believed that there's always a greater purpose than yourself and your interest and everything. And so that's just how I see things. And I'm glad to be in that space, because there's a lot of negativity, and there's a lot of wrong energy when it comes to the music business, and a lot of people believe that energy is needed for the business. Right. And so if there's a positive Edem, why not? I'm glad to be in that lane.
Right. No, absolutely. No, I definitely enjoy to hear you share your opinion on different matters. But I want to know.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here, because we're going to delve deep into how Edem got started, you know, how you grew as an artist and even as a wise man. And you know, so people, a lot of people that are listening in different parts of the world will really get a real perspective of who Edem is. So I know you are one of the pioneers behind the hip life movement. You know, you started with the likes of the Sarkodie and correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, are you a Tema boy?
No, I'm not a Tema boy. I wasn't born and raised in Tema. I grew up in Sakumono partly. That is my Dada B side grew up in Sakumono.
Okay.
My street side grew up in Accra New Town.
Okay.
I'm an Accra New Town boy.
Okay.
I partly also grew up in Aflao, where my mom used to be, which is another hood. And so I'm not a Tema boy.
I see. So but back in the day, you were rolling with the Tema guys, you guys were all brothers and stuff. How did that link come about? Because I think we saw you a lot with it. Mm-hmm.
No, I think that is the beauty of music. Music has a way of just getting people from different places to just connect. Because at the point when it's time for you to create, it's no longer about where you're from. It's just about what kind of vibe you guys have. And so when I used to be in the studio with Hammer, around that time, artists who were from Tema were also, or people who were from Tema were also coming into the studio, you know, and we all respected each other in the craft and what everybody had to offer as a creative, and so that basically was the foundation.
I see. So I want to step back a little bit. I know you go with Hammer early in your career, but even before Hammer, I want to understand. So you mentioned Aflao, Kumasi, and what do you call it?
Aflao, Accra New Town,
Accra, yeah. Right. Let me know the order. Where did it all start for you, and how did you migrate to the other places, and to the point where you actually connected with Hammer?
All right. So I was born in the Volta region. I grew up in between the Volta region and Accra, because my dad was in Accra, so I grew up in Accra New Town.
Okay.
Later moved to Sakumono, where my uncle was. And in Accra New Town, you know, you live in this compound houses, and I was always exposed to all forms of music, you know, from high life to hip life to reggae to dancehall, to all the forms of music. And so I just gravitated towards the music without knowing it. It wasn't deliberate that, hey, I want to love music. Every time everything was being done, I chose music over every other thing. I like to listen to it. And when I was schooling in Amazing Love International School, which was in the Volta region, I found myself engaging in anything music. And then it grew, you know, it grew with time. I was in Aflao, going to Amazing Love. I'll come to Sakumono, and I started getting to the demo levels. You know, back in the day, you have the cassette, try to rap over some Dr. Dre instrumentals or some Timberland and Missy Elliott instrumentals back in the day, or some any beat you could find, you know. And then when I went to Bishop Herman, which was my senior high school, it became more fun. And that was when I started creating and became a writer proper. And that was it.
I see. So how come you always knew that you wanted to be a rapper? You never thought about the you know, these days they say if you don't sing, you can't make it in the industry. So you never, how did you know you wanted to be a rapper for sure when you were coming up?
Okay, so I didn't know I wanted to be a rapper for sure.
Okay.
I just knew I love music and I was able to do anything that I wanted to do. So I used to be the guy in senior high who would write a rap for somebody,
Okay.
write the ever part for another person,
I see.
write the dancehall part for the next person on the team,
Oh,
and then do the English part myself.
Oh,
So
wow.
it wasn't really about rap. It was just about the music in general,
Gotcha.
and the feeling of creating the sound and creating music. But then when I met Hammer, Hammer was a rap oriented producer.
I
He
see.
wasn't a reggae or dancehall fan.
Gotcha.
He knows nothing about reggae or dancehall.
Mm.
And so, in the quest to be an artist who would just come out, I was more in tune with what the producer was working with.
Mm.
But I knew I had other abilities because of my background. And so, right after my first album, Hammer started seeing other things that he didn't know I had. He will be driving to a show and he will hear me doing a reggae song on my own. And then he was like, "Oh, I don't think that I should box you up. I think that you're multi-talented and you have the ability to do other things, which is quite rare, And so we decided to do a reggae song. We did Get to Arise, and boom, it became a huge reggae anthem for the entire nation and across parts of the world. And then that was it. My reggae and dancehall part came to bear. And so I'm just a malleable artist. I'm able to just do stuff. But of course, I have love for rap. You know, I love it as an art form, and I'll never stop being
Right.
somebody who loves rap.
I see. So how did the connection actually happen between you and Hammer? What brought you guys together?
Hammer, I've always been a big fan. I've always been a big fan. Anybody who listens to from Paimuka to Makola Kwape, Tiny's album, who is one of the people I really love as an artist. I've always been a Hammer fan. So when I came out of senior high, I sort of was trying to find a way to connect with Hammer as a producer. And I remember one of my friends had access to Hammer's number, so he called me on. I put a call through to Hammer. Hammer invited me to the studio back in the day, Hash Hash Recording Studios. And I went to the studio in 2003,
Wow.
And after that, I visited the studio multiple times, '03, '04, '05, and then in '06, Hammer put me on the first beat ever. After 3 years of going to the studio and hanging around. Yeah, back to back. And then we did the Lost Files compilation. We didn't really blow up. And right after that, in '06, a little into '06, I got his attention creatively. And then one time in '06, I went to his house. He had produced, I Believe I Can Fly for Tiny, and was going to do a remix. And so when I went to him at home, Hammer was like, Charlie, I get some beat, I won't make you rap over the beat. So I started rapping, and he was like, this beat before Tiny, I Believe I Can Fly, but you know what? I'll tell Tiny the beat is low so that I can start recording your album, because I think, say, you're ready to be heard by the world. And I left Hammer's place around 11 p.m. Hammer called me that he was in the studio in '06, and from that time we started the album, and the album was ready in '08. So 2 years we took to record the first album, and then '09 we finally released the debut album.
Wow. It seems like you and 3 years is popular between you and Hammer. It took him 3 years to put you on. It took him 3 years to get your album ready. So
yeah. It took him. Hammer is the guy who takes his time. Also tries to make sure that he gets it right, because 2009, we're talking about an era when nobody was listening to anything other than I Can't Rap.
Right.
and then Tiny emerged with Guns. So we had to get it right. We had to make sure that we proved people wrong. And there were countless occasions of people discouraging Hammer not to put me on because they didn't think that I would thrive as an artist. And Charlie, I'm here, suckers, and I'm still here. 10 years over and running, I'm here, suckers.
Tell them. So you know, I feel like, you know, you guys, even though you all started with the Chinese and the rest, right? You kind of started two movements. I guess you and Tiny started two movements, right? You were starting the hip life thing, but also you were unique in the sense that you were doing your music, your rap in Ewe, right? So two things. One is, did you start rapping in Ewe? Did you always rap in Ewe, or did you start rapping in English and then at some point you felt like you wanted to switch back to Ewe? What gave you the confidence that Ewe will work for you?
Okay, so I was rapping in English. I was doing my dancehall in all this basic patois that you learned from back in the day when you're in senior high. You know, all the little patois jargons that you string together was a key influence in my music. Of course, back in the day, PM was back in the day, PM was also a Pidgin rapper. So it was a mix of everything. It sort of like looked like you were just trying to fine tune yourself and you have love for everything. Then when I collided with Hammer, I was picking up with writing Ewe and being creative with Ewe as a rap form. And Hammer felt that we should go full blown on it, put out an entire album that was predominantly Ewe. And I thought it was something that was second nature to me because I have control over the language. I know how to abuse it properly, you know, not in a bad way, you know. And so we went for it, and I had my own doubts. Have any amount of doubt at all. He didn't. I saw it as a language with barriers. He saw it as you have the talent and you can be able to execute it. And one of the things that Hammer loved when him and I were working was I was the artist that brought to the table no limitations for him when it came to production. With Hammer's previous productions, when you pay attention, the artists were in a certain zone of beat production. Like he had some fundamental drum patterns that he was working with. But when Hammer was working with me, he could go to other hip hop areas and I'll still be able to just move in there and execute. And so it was an amazing relationship. It still is. It was an amazing experience running with Hammer for the longest time.
I see. Wow. So what kind of arrangement did you have? Do you have like a legally binding, you know, record label type arrangement with Hammer, or was more lucky to be
Hammer and I signed our contract about 6 months to 7 months after my first single came out. By the time Hammer and I spent time together, it was no longer about money. It was more about a statement. It was more about the work. So even though we knew that it was business, he was more interested in putting it out there that this boy is talented. And I was also bent on making sure that I didn't let him down in terms of people who had doubts that Hammer could also like do something with somebody who is not the regular artist people think about. And so we signed a contract after almost 6 to 7 months after my first single.
Which is because you said you met first in 2003 and your single came out in 2009.
Yeah, so we signed our contract in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some serious trust right there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time it was just building of relationship, understanding each other, and he became literally like a big brother to me.
Mm,
Um, and so the contract came when the project was ready and it was out, and we knew where we were going, and we stuck by the contract all the way through to when we parted ways amicably.
I see. I see. Wow. And so how long was the contract? You said when did it expire?
Hammer signed a 5-year contract with me.
5-year contract. Got you.
Yeah, Hammer signed a 5-year contract with me. Him and I were together for a very long time, and even at a point in time, it was no longer about the contract. It was just what is supposed to be done for us to make progress as a team. And these contracts, they start with words, and so once we had the understanding of what to do, we kept moving. Bigger brother, little brother energy, and the
So would you, if you're advising a younger up and coming artist right now, would you tell them, look, if you find what would be your advice around contracts in general? It's because no matter how you see it, it's still a big risk, right? You just happen to be with a really good brother. So it could have been somebody else who could have taken advantage of you, right? Or you could have taken advantage of them, whichever way, right? What I know Ghana ecosystem is very different from the rest of the world.
That's true.
How would you advise an up and coming artist in Ghana about going about doing a proper deal, just making sure they are not taking advantage of?
Okay, so the number one advice I roll out to anybody is start by working with people who believe in you, not people who offer you contracts. Start by working with people who believe in you. Because when people believe in you, they don't do it because of money. They do it because they believe that the world is your stage and they need to showcase you. And that angle has a long effect on even contracts, because anybody who believes in you believes that you'll be around for the longest time, believes that they also have to build a relationship with you because you guys are going to be there for a long time. But when the person doesn't believe in you and it is about money, they will be going for contracts that will tie you down for them to make whatever they can make within the shortest possible time, because they don't believe in you, so they even have their own doubts. They will have problems with taking very huge risk when it comes to you. And so for starters, don't go for contracts. Go for people who believe in you, believe in your craft. That is more important because in the music business, it is not contracts that are important. It is loyalty and running with people for the longest time that is important, because you can always sign any deal. And when you get bigger, there are still people who are going to come and bring more deals on the table. And so it should be about rolling with people who believe in you first, and then contract second. And when people believe in you, it's easy for you to have conversations around contracts and what the terms are. When they don't, it's too much of a hustle.
Wow, that's really deep. That's really, really deep. This is the first time someone is really articulating the importance of loyalty, the importance of having someone that believes and trusts in you, the importance of, and one thing that you really said that hit me hard is, if someone really believes in you, when the time comes for them to take a huge risk, they will take it, versus somebody that is just doing it for the money. They will just be assessing their risk.
Word. And that is not what you need for the music business. The music business is the business of balls. It's not for people who don't have balls. And so you will really need people who will just decide to roll out, because it took Hammer a lot to bet on me. I don't think anybody would have in the industry. And I can give a reason why. It's been 10 years and over since Hammer and I broke out with the language, and up to now, nobody has taken the mantle to finance any other Ewe artist or any upcoming Ewe artist. And so that should tell you what it took for him as a producer to come out.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. So before I said that, you started two movements. One is, you know, the ability for an artist to demonstrate that they can actually compete on equal levels with any other artist with a not so popular language. You know,
yes.
Where, how did you pull that off? Because up to today, you kind of made our cool. In fact, I was going to say after this interview, I should walk away with a few words and phrases and stuff, right? Because
it will be very easy for you to walk away with Ewe phrases if your DJ looks for one of my songs of my EP called Mood Swings. The title is In Ghana. Once you listen to that song, there's no way you'll not be equipped with all the basic Ewe words, because that was what that song was. So if the DJ looks for only in Ghana by Edem, you will have your Ewe sorted.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Edem, I'm sure when you're doing a lot of, like you say, a lot of people were probably telling him, who is this other guy? You know, why are you changing? Nobody.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't only that. People even got to the levels of being superstitious about it.
Oh wow!
That this guy, he take you go someplace. You know, it's crazy.
You do the airway on them, man.
Africans there, we shall. Sometimes they do some slow moves.
Oh my god! Oh wow! So okay. But then Hammer still decided. But I'm sure you also I'm sure even for you as an artist, once you decide to rap in airway, now it's like, because you know how in music it's almost like you're doing it for you, but at some point it's almost like you're representing the people with your music.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I was honestly doing it for me. But Hammer always knew that I was doing it for a bigger agenda. I guess probably because he has experience and was in the business for a very long time. Because he was active in the business from '99 before I met him, and I came out in 2009. So that's definitely 20 years, you know. So he knew I was doing it for the people. I didn't know the magnitude of what I was doing, but with time I got to understand, and that became my purpose, and I've been following that ever since.
So would you say your movement was successful? Because even though you're doing it for you, right? I'm sure a lot of people from the Volta area would be looking at you as a role model and thinking, oh, if Edem is doing it, we can also do it too. But if nobody else finance an early artist after you, would you say that model is a model you advise anybody else to do?
No, I mean the influence is bigger than just people financing people. I mean, we've had, before me, there was no reality show that was accommodating our rappers to come on and rap and then scale up. But now we have reality shows that are accommodating artists who are rapping in a way. And the thing about the influence I created was it didn't only impact the Volta region. It made a lot of other regions come out.
Right.
Like I've been in Skin as a chief in Tamale because I inspired a whole group of artists from the north to start rapping and be more proactive in their quest to put out their language. And so it cut across board. I think one of my songs near Gilo, Fancy Gadam actually has his version in his language. And when we had conversations, he told me about how I really kicked him to want to show off to the world that the northern language is a beautiful language to rap with. So it stems beyond that. It's also because of the level of power that the projects I release created. That is why you even find other people who are not Ewes even want to sing Ewe lines, or they want to put it in a song, or they now know that there's a whole group of people that they should also give attention to if they want to win their love. And so it cuts across board.
I see.
I
agree.
Be the person.
Yeah.
You are not going to be the person to entirely execute it. And that's why I give credit to Chicago for David Medekuku, because he did that. And then I also will carry it to a certain level. And then I'm sure somebody will also take it to another level. And that is how it's supposed to be.
I see. Somebody on social media actually has a follow-up question. They said, what is the reason no other Ewe artist has been managed by or you know, I guess signed by a record label or an organization in Ghana? Why come no the Ewe artists never got the kind of support you got to take them to the next level?
You guys should bear in mind that since the independence of Ghana, there was no Ewe song on radio that was really, really big and dominate. So that is like over. And beyond that, it was really, really difficult to get Ewe songs on radio. So for the average person, you should understand that if other languages are running, the Ewe language is crawling now. Even though you might see that Edem just broke out, and it takes a very long time for these things to happen, and that is why you have to continue to push. And I'm not saying that people should necessarily do songs all in Ewe, because I mean we're a global village, but I'm saying that you should always have the influence of your roots, so that it is easy for people to identify you. Because even if I do a full English song, I should be able to put some Ghana line or some Ewe line or some tree line, so that when it gets on the global stage, you know, okay, this boy is not a Nigerian. This boy is not a South African. Because when you hear Swahili, you might think I'm a South African. If you hear Yoruba or Igbo, you think I'm a Nigerian. So how do you know my identity? Is because of language. Because we all dress the same. You know, the English, our accent is fly the same way. And so it's only our language and maybe food and a few other things that shows who we are. And so I encourage people, account speaking artists, to get financial support. And that has been around for a long time. So how much more the Ewe artists who are coming? And it's even challenging for even the industry itself to get support as an industry compared to South Africa and Nigeria as we know it. And so it is a big challenge, and I'm just throwing light on it so that people become aware and people know that it's something that we should. We say it, we should also say that there are a group of young boys who are doing well, have businesses. You can also join forces and also invest in the arts. Sometimes we are looking at it like somebody needs to come from somewhere globally and come and put some $1 million. But the same way you can start a mobile money business, the same way you can start a taxi business, is the same way a group of young people, you can get together and start a music business and build an empire out of it. It's the same way you guys, a group of young people, can get together and say, you know what, his brand name, we can come up with merchandise around it and run it, and we could all sign contracts and split the bag. So this thing should be seen holistically.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, for me, frankly, your success as a rapper that infuses Ewe in his music, that success tells me it's way beyond music. It's more like being proud of where you're from, being proud of your culture and your people, being proud of and of your identity. And that is why it lends itself very naturally to things like travel, tourism, and things like that, because you can now take that whole model and replicate the regional pride thing. And so no, I absolutely love what you're doing. But let me ask you a question, because you mentioned something about about the industry itself struggling to get support. Oh, can you hear me? I think you're frozen. Can anybody hear me, Selassie?
Sound check. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Edem is frozen on your side as well.
Yes. So you need to play the question again.
Edem, I think you're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit. I'm barely hearing. I'm barely hearing anything you're saying. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So I think we have some technology problems now. We'll just wait for Edem to connect back, and we'll continue the. But no, so far it's been great. It's been a great interview. Let's go on commercial roll.
Over 200 of your favorite Top Gunnian DJs across the world coming together to create the largest online Ghana music platform.
This is how we do each and every time. Black Star DJs Worldwide.
Black Star DJs Worldwide. Black Star DJs. All your Top Gunnian DJs worldwide.
That's right, shut down the background. Ghana songs for worldwide. Let's go.
Follow the Black Star DJs movement on Facebook and Instagram. Black Star DJs worldwide. Or visit our website now to book Top Gunnian DJs for your next event. Anywhere in the world. At www.blackstardjs.com. Let's go, Ghana.
Okay. We are back. Welcome everybody to the Spotlight Show once again. We're here having a great conversation with the superstar, the big man himself, Edem. Edem, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So I'll use this opportunity to say shouts to Doji. You're watching live inside Yonki right now. So Doji, I'm sending mad love to you. You know I appreciate you. Doji, mad love to you. You know how I come.
All right. Big shout out to Doji. Okay. So it seems okay. I think you're back now because then the connection was acting funny before. But I don't know if you heard the last thing I was saying. I was saying how your brand lends itself very well to tourism, because if there's anybody that embraces showing the world what my region can do or can produce, it's you. So if every artist sort of embraced where you're from and did what you're doing, and use that as an opportunity to also showcase. And I know you do a lot for the Volta region. If every artist did that, music can travel very, very well, and even translate into economic development in a lot of different parts of Ghana.
Word.
So kudos for what you're doing.
Thank you, Edem. Give it up for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But also, I was going to say, you mentioned something about the industry in general, struggling to get support, right, in terms of investments, financing, and stuff like that. And I was going to ask you, why you think that is? Why do you think what do we need to do to attract more investments for the music? How come it's you guys are doing it? I mean, when they see you on stage with, how many thousands of people, how come the corporate brands are not seeing it? How come the investors are not seeing it? What are we missing? What is missing in the system? Edem, let me know, because I know you got some answers.
I'm going to sound like Kanye right now and say, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers.
I got the answers.
I ain't got the answers, bro. No, so but I mean, I think the biggest thing we would need to be able to attract people is data. And I'm glad that we're in a digital space where now it's easy to see numbers, but I think that it is easy for people to use data to project what their expectations are when it comes to any form of business. And music on the African continent is always struggling with data. Um, how many shows and artists does a year, the number of people coming to the venue, how many actual tickets are sold, not 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 the perceived number of people who attended the show, the actual tickets that were sold. And I'm sure that if you are able to have hands-on data, we should be able to get people to be interested. I also believe that one of the challenges is the artist full-scale team that is able to look at the business side of things whilst the artist remains a creative. So you realize that most of the time, the artist is juggling the roles of being an artist, switches to putting together their own events, comes back to look at how they market the product, thinks about creative ideas for the video. So it becomes very, very, actually even writes the songs, composes the songs, thinks of producers to work with. And so it's quite overwhelming because all these facets of the industry in a more proper space is supposed to be handled by various departments. So I say you make do of what you have and you keep moving. So as we go on, I'm glad that we're in exciting times. African music is rich, and so we should all wait and continue to grow. Is really, really wide, and I'm hoping the next 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years, we shouldn't be having Ghanaian artists anymore. We should be having African artists.
Absolutely.
From Ghana.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Because I think we used to have Ghanaian artists and then we used to have Nigerian artists. I think we should move past all of that and have African artists from Ghana or an African artist from Nigeria or an African artist from South Africa. Yes, we have an American artist. We don't have an American artist. We should move to the level where we just have African artists from the continent, so that the entire continent.
Can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost Edem again. But no, I think
the line is breaking.
The line is breaking. So, yeah, you're back. You're back. Hello?
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. I can hear. Yeah, I lost you after you said you think we should go past just having Ghanaian artists, and I was about to say, hey, Edem, you are being ambitious. So we don't have United States of Africa yet. How are we going to do? How are we going to do? How are we going to blend?
Yeah. So I mean, we don't have United States of Africa, but music is so powerful. We've already started doing the United States through the music. I mean, I have songs with Ice Prince from my previous projects. I have songs with MI from Nigeria. I have Queen A, the remix with Caspanyo Vest from South Africa, and Cleo from Zambia. I have a song with Wyre all the way in Kenya. And up to today, Wyre and I have never met in person, but we put a record together. Zambia, again, I have a record with Slabi, who is fire. I have some stuff with Patoranking, very unreleased. I have some stuff with some people from Jamaica, unreleased. So we already are connecting through the music already. So I don't think that we need the politicians to unite before we, the young people, use the creative arts to be able to just blend.
That's a great point. And I think we had Manifest on the show, and I was telling him that I strongly believe that culture actually paves the way, actually leads economic development in a lot of ways, right? And so I definitely believe that. But that's an interesting point you're still making, because I'm curious though. When you do collaborations, Do you think the crossover actually happens when the collaboration happens? So when you do a song with somebody in let's say Casper in South Africa, when you go to South Africa to perform, do you feel the love? Do you feel like you're beginning to at least feel like you're building the base? Does the crossover actually happen through the collaborations?
All right, so I think that the music is the contact point for a crossover. But the music has nothing to do with the experience of fans in any demographic. For people to become attached to an artist, you need to really connect with them. And I think that is the difference between a lot of Ghanaian artists and the Nigerians. Everywhere Nigerians' music is, they actually were there physically. They touched base with the people. They deliberately went there to do smaller concerts, and those smaller concerts tend to maybe 500 venue concerts to 1,000. And that is where the financing comes back in, because for Ghana, you want to put out the music and create the first point of contact with the artist, because both of you respect each other in your craft, but you still have to be present in South Africa and gain physical contact with the fans, vibe with them. They need to experience you before you can scale it up. Of course, you could have their ear where they are listening to the music because you work with one of their own. But for that full scale experience of they coming into contact with who you are, you really need to get on the ground. And getting on the ground is not done in isolation. You need a team on the ground to be able to do the groundwork. You need somebody to even be there and still be working on your presence whilst you are absent, because it's an ongoing business. And so it's going to take more than just collaborations to cross over the artist.
I see. So the physical presence is needed for the actual market penetration to happen.
The physical presence, the appearances, the radio at the same spot. Because if it took radio interviews, TV interviews, performances to take over Ghana, it means you virtually need the same thing replicated across. Yes, you can blow in certain markets and go there to do a show. That could happen. But if you blow in that market and you're not present in that market for a long time, and the product and the vibe the product created dies down, your name will also die down. And so all the other variables need to be in place to be able to cross over properly.
I see. Very nice. Okay. And I agree. Absolutely agree with that. I have a question from social media. KG says, when is Edem's new album coming out?
I think I'll just have to make sure it's ready and then I just put it out. I don't think we're in a time where you announce albums and then set dates and roll it out and all of that. The most important thing is making sure the body of work, when it hits anybody, they know that this is like top notch. And I'm sorry to say, I think that we're in an era where the music is more about influences and numbers rather than the quality. And I'm not talking about quality of production. I mean the quality that goes into the creative thought process. It's more about what kind of music to put out to quickly get people and get TikTok to be able to generate views from it. You know, that is where the music is, and the kind of marketing you can put to it. And I'm coming from a place where I'm still about the music itself, and how great it can be as a creative body of work. So once the album is ready, I definitely put.
I see. No, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. By the way, Edem, man, like that song, Low, that song. Who makes your beats, man? Your beats really hit me hard, man. I'm like,
yeah. So I'm a hammer boy. So every other thing has to be. I'm a hammer boy. I'm a Timberland, Dr. Dre boy. I'm a Scotch kind of guy. So that should give you a fair idea the kind of the kind of beats I work with. But Magnum produced Nejilo, and I'll use the platform to send big love to every producer who produces from Magnum to Hammer to Anel to Fred Star to Mixmaster Gazi to Shoto Blink. So all the producers I work with, to Kemenya, Charlie, mad love to each and every one of you guys. Yeah.
Man, you know, so I said there's no way you're coming on the show. I'm not going to ask you this. That song, Toto. That song, Toto.
Not again.
Listen. I think it's every man's favorite song. You know, but but are you there? Are you frozen?
The camera is frozen. I'm pretending we are frozen right now.
Got you. Yeah. I love the beat alone.
I'm pretending to be. I'm frozen right now. I'm frozen.
Exactly. Toto freeze. That's what we call Toto freeze right there. I need to know the inspiration behind that song, because as a song it's just good, but then you can't help every Ghanaian knows it, when you say Toto, it takes you back to my GSS days. We all know what it is. So what was the inspiration behind it? I know you you were in the zone when you created it. Let me know what the zone you were in when you were creating that.
Yeah, so Toto was actually produced by a Nigerian producer I've never met.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to say big up to Magnum, because what I'm saying big up to Magnum is that the final mix of Toto, we didn't have the data for the song. So Magnum actually mixed the song with the beat WhatsApp audio that I sent to him without telling me, because he knows I'm very particular about production and so, but he really did an amazing job with not the data of the beat, but just the WhatsApp audio. He was able to get us together record.
Oh, wow.
Toto is just a song where I decided to use a double entendre as a creative. And a double entendre is just a word that can have two meanings sometimes in the same language or different languages. But the full word is Retoto. Is the sun. When the sun rises, you say Reto. So the continuous tense, the rising of the sun is Repotato. So I created a song, but know that on the flip side, my people, my amazing Ghana brothers are going to hear it differently. Shouts to my Ghana people in the house, are going to hear it differently. And it just became a viral hit song really, really fast. But it also took a little dive, because just when we're about to go global with it and we did a remix with the video and we're going to shoot with it, the COVID came. And weren't able to go on like a world tour to promote the record. I was also stuck. I didn't have a private jet to find Davido wherever he was. And so I wasn't able to go find him for us to shoot the video for the remix. And so we didn't really push the song to the level. But once a record is hot, it's still hot. And that is why we are out here. So big up to everybody. I don't know why you guys love that song so much. I don't know if it's the beat or it's because of how the word, no, you guys hear them your own way. But big up to you guys. And I want to send mad love to everybody in Colombia, because in the past 2 to 3 weeks, Colombia has been just skyrocketing with listening to Toto, and it's been showing on the Apple Music back end information. Wow. And so I don't know what is happening in Colombia, but Charlie, Colombian girls, hit me up, man. Hit me up. I got love for you guys.
Oh, wow. Let me save you the doubt. I know it's the quality of the song, because let me tell you when I first heard it. I first heard it at the Ghana Independence Party in New York, and I was the MC at the party. And
hey, Charlie, big up to New York. Every time our Spotify and our Apple Music, New York is like doing the most.
Yeah, exactly.
And shame on all the other states who are not doing the most.
Hey, don't stop no more. I'm from the DMV.
And I'm in the DMV right now, so nobody should come looking for me.
Aha, we'll find you. Let's get a Zoom to give us your address real quick. Listen, I heard the song and I lost my mind. Even before the chorus came in, this was the beat. And the music is loud, so the full acoustic is on full blast, and the thing came, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" I just lost it, and I was like, immediately, now there's Shazam, so I'm like, "Yo, what? I need that song right now." I was like,
"Yeah."
And since then, it's been my favorite. I'm like, man, you really killed that song.
Thank you.
Yeah, when we're preparing for this, I told Kwasati, if you don't drop Toto, we'll cancel the interview. He's like, don't worry, I'm about to. He's like,
I'll definitely drop the tune.
No, that's good, man. Edem, listen, I don't know how you do it, but there's a lot of people you started with that I know as relevant, and for some reason, you find a way to stay relevant and even outperform the new ones, the new kids on the block. How do you do it? How do you stay relevant and keep updating yourself?
To stay relevant, you have to stay true to yourself. To stay relevant, you have to continue to learn and evolve. To stay relevant, you have to be a realistic artist. When I say a realistic artist, they are people in their prime who, and I don't mention names, but I remember when it was the time when we were back in the day when we made some money. Some artists were quick to want to buy all the nicest cars whilst we were still using it to shoot music videos, and we were still riding low. So sometimes it's just about how you manage yourself and how you push yourself and try to evolve, but stay true to yourself. As for the trends, they'll come and they'll go, but try to make sure every trend that comes, even if you want to jump on it, make sure it has your influence.
Right.
If it's Amapiano and Edem wants to do Amapiano, I'll do it the Edem way. If it's Afrobeats, I'll do it the Edem way. If it's dancehall, I'll do it the Edem way. So stay true to yourself. Make sure your influence is in every record that you're going to put out. And I'm sure you stay, and also find a core fan base. A core fan base, because the core fan base is what stays true to you in your lowest moments as an artist. When everybody who is the floating fan goes away, your core fan base is still going to hold you down. So don't play with your core fan base.
Wow, Edem. So I have like 2 questions from social media I'm going to read out. But before that, I want to ask you this, just because you mentioned the core fan base. We have a few artists on the show, and we've talked about the issue of building the base versus the globalization. A lot of people believe now it's a global system, and so you don't have to stick to any one particular base. We've had the argument both ways. What do you think about now? I know since you say stick to your fan base, how do you now balance that with the fact that it's a global system now and you need to build bases in multiple places?
No, when I say stay with your core fan base, it has nothing to do with demography. It has everything to do with the key people who love you for who you are. So somebody might tell me that, Edem, I want you to do a hip hop album. And then somebody might tell me, Edem, I want you to do a reggae album. Now you have to find a balance. Do the core number of people who love you, do they love you because you are a versatile artist? If they are, you can't spend your time doing just hip hop. If you're a hip hop artist and your core fan base is continue to do hip hop and grow that fan base. And so it has nothing to do with demography. It has who you are as a creative.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it could be anywhere in the world.
Your hardcore fans, pretty much anywhere. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So let me go to social media real quick before we go on commercial. So somebody asked, do you know a musician called Togs? He sings in a way similar to you, similar to your style. This is Big Daddy, one of our DJs.
Yes, I know Togs. Yes, I know Togs. I try. Yes, I know Togs. I try as much as possible to stay on top of a lot of artists who are coming from Ghana and the region. So yes, I know Tokes. He's an Ewe rapper, emerging, and and since I have the platform, people can check him out.
Mm. Are you, by the way, are you signing, are you signing other artists on your record label now? How are you supporting up and coming artists right now?
I'm supporting a lot of artists in various ways, from personal development to maybe supporting financially for some videos, to maybe getting them into a network that might be difficult for them to have access to also doing collaborations, and so on and so forth. It's just a wide range. I think that the absence of a proper structure is why artists signing artists has always been a problem in Ghana. So when you look at the history, every artist who has signed anybody, eventually it became a problem. I don't think they are the problem. I think the system is the problem. It doesn't cater for structures like that. So I'll continue to partner with artists, support them. But I honestly don't think I'm at the place yet where I think that I have to fully take on an artist. Maybe I have to set aside a team that will be able to do this honestly.
Got you, absolutely. No, and I see with that. I think we have a lot more questions coming from social media, and I think Kwasanti got all the questions. Kwasanti, you ready? You ready with the social media questions?
Yeah, big up to man like Edem for joining the Black Star Worldwide team, and definitely you're making it like nobody's business. Hey, we love what you do.
Salute.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let me say big up to Yawa Jiman. That's DJ Big Daddy. Say I'm in. We've got Selassie also in the background. In fact, Selassie wants to go to Colombia and do some fishing for you. So Adam, if you're ready, Selassie will join you and do some fishing in Colombia. So and we've got this one also came from Yawa Jiman asking about the boy talks. And personally, I have one question I think I also want you to answer for me. I've been listening to the conversation back here, and I was thinking I just need to ask this. You know, you've been an artist from, I don't even know how about 2000. I think I started hearing you the year 2000, 2001, 2, 3 coming. And at this particular point in time in your career, we've got people that you started with that have been like, oh, their time is past. So they are not being seen as the crop of new artists that are coming. How have you been able to still stay relevant, still winning awards and all this coming up for you? How has it been like as an artist?
I think that it's easy for your time to pass if you're an artist who follows trends. If you follow trends, the trend is like a wave. And you know, when you ride with a wave, sometimes the wave will carry you away. That's one of the things. And also, one of the key reasons why I think people continue to say people's times have passed is because I feel that we are in a space where Ghana as a country or Africa as a continent, we just like to jump on things as they come and go. And so I believe consistency always proves people wrong. And so if you're an artist and at the point in time people think that your time has passed, continue to create, continue to go into new territories and continue to grow. You just have to continue to grow. The entire process of life is the journey. So even at the point where people are saying your time has passed, it's still part of the journey. So you have to continue going. You know, you can stop.
Yeah. And I've got this one from DJ Lyrics. DJ Lyrics is saying, it says you made a good point about the quality of production. Okay. Yeah, he says you made a good point about the quality of production and being out. Okay, let me read exactly what he says on Facebook and the question that he's posed prior to that. Says you made a good point about the quality of production being put out there. Are you mentoring any young artists? I think it's a gap that needs to improve the quality of song being put out there. And just a follow up to this question, you know, when it comes to you guys in the industry that sings in a particular dialect, you know, we don't get too many of an artist coming up through the line that you have told. If you go to Ghana, for instance, Tiny started this whole thing of Ghana rap and stuff, and then you've been one of the people doing the Aigbe rap and stuff. So with the mentioned question that Lyrics is just asking, I want to do a follow-up question to say, uh, you just said you're helping other, you have the opportunity to help other artists to make it. But I just want to find out in the genre of music that you do, because you're very excellent when it comes to the Ewe language. How are you seeing the crop of musicians coming up, also trying to do music in a particular language? Does it help to market people? You have been there already, and how have you also been able to, use the Ewe language and being consistent and still making it in the music industry? So it's just
So
a
for the
two-minute
person
question.
who said the quality of so the person who said the quality of music, I'm a creative and I can know it all. So I'll really leave those for technical people. Because myself, when I work in the studio, I leave it for the engineers and the producers to do, their work, because that is what they are good at. And so that should probably be a question for an engineer or somebody who is more technical when they jump in here. For the thing about marketing and various languages, it's all about exposure. It's all about exposure because I can bet every dollar I have that nobody understands that I'm a piano wave that is hitting everywhere, right? But it's because of consistent play. That is why everybody is feeling it. And so sometimes the artists are super talented, but they don't have the exposure and they don't have the level playing field. If you can play, if you can play a Jay-Z song 5 times on Ghana radio, and you can also play an Edem song 5 times on Ghana radio, and expose them to the same crowd, leave the people to decide who they love, and the marketing is right. I'm sure variety is the spice of life, and people might listen to Edem and listen to Jay-Z too. So sometimes it is about the platform. The language has never been a problem. It is the obstacles for the language whilst it's trying to get to the light that has always been the problem. And this obstacle comes from the mindset of the people. Sometimes we have very hidden tribal sentiments that we are still struggling with as a people. And it stems from the politics of the business to the politics of promoters to it's a tall list. And so those hurdles are what is a problem for the talent. The talent and whatever language it is in has never been a problem. And that is why Angelique Kidjo shines so bright, because she's been given a platform. And if anybody also gets the platform and they are talented, they will be able to shine like our godmother does.
I told
All
you we
right.
have a
So,
philosopher
Quex,
in the house.
you can take it out from here. I think I'm done with Facebook now. If anything comes up, I'll prompt you and then we'll do it as well. Big ups to you, Edem.
Yeah, I was saying, Edem, I told her we have a philosopher in the house. I mean, that was an excellent response to that language question right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Edem, I know you're also very passionate about this issue of royalty in Ghana. And I think I recently saw a video of one of the lawyers in Ghana saying that they have a solution. And I don't know if you saw that video. It was at least it was in the Blasted DJ network, and they're saying that they have a solution.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. So number one, we are struggling with investments or lack of it, right? In the system. On the one hand, and on the other hand, where the artists can chop small after they've struggled to put their music out there as well. The issue of royalty and copyright is sort of limiting the opportunities on that side as well. What is the I guess, how do we circumvent that problem, that issue of royalty? What is the solution to it, in your opinion? Because people have been talking about it, different groups have come out, they're trying to solve the problem, but it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere.
To be very honest, and this is something a lot of artists will not say. I'm personally tired. You know, you get tired of it, and I'm glad that we are not on formal radio. I, I would have been cussing out right now if it wasn't for formality. So it's just that you get exhausted because the sad part is artists are the ones in these positions, and artists are fighting artists who are complaining about why a system is not correct. So somehow we are our own enemies because the people in these offices are creatives, and so you expect creatives to understand their fellow creative because you are even way ahead of us and you have been through the mill. And so when artists raise concerns, and I say that it's quite unfortunate that we artists are the people with the most powerful voices, but because of absence of unity, we cannot become a force to telling the powers that be. Because in the history of Ghana, artists have never gone for a demonstration before. That's the truth. Why can't artists use their social media platform with 1 million followers and say, you know what, let's take to the streets and make a statement and tell the government that if you're not doing this, we are not getting on your campaign platform. Because even though the artists complain, subliminally, people still want to be ahead of others and don't look at the bigger picture of your future. So it's quite exhausting to talk about. But we continue to speak because this is our field, and if you don't speak about it, who is going to speak about it? And I think that Gamro as a place for the artist is the most bogus entity you can ever find in Ghana. The people don't represent our interests. I don't think that they care about what the artist thinks. And I think that if any artist has an opportunity to look elsewhere to be with other bodies, you should go ahead and do that because it's the future of yourself and your children and people who inherit your works.
Wow, that's strong words from Edem. Edem, so you know, I can't remember which artist it was, but it was an artist that came that we spoke to and we talked about this and the issue of the unity in the industry amongst the artists again came up, right? Like you're saying, and I've also always been amazed that artists with the level of influence that you have haven't organized yet to fight this with your voice, with your very powerful.
So I could tell you that there are points in time when the organized you are talking about happen, but along the way people fall out because you see there are powers that be, and people have associations and people have affiliations either to a political party or a certain interest group, and so people's loyalties lie in various places. When all we have to do is our loyalty is supposed to lie in the future of our intellectual property and what it makes for us, and that is quite sad.
Oh man, that's really sad. That's really sad. And at the end of the day, it's almost like it's a systemic problem, right? It's like at the end of the day, economics prevail.
Yes.
You know, people are just thinking about their pockets and their survival, and they're not thinking long term. You know, about like you're saying, your intellectual property and the fact that is really where the bigger opportunity is. So it's very sad, and I pray that I think when I find that video, I'll share it with you. I think someone posted it in our group. It seems like there has been some progress. I know you probably won't believe in it, but I'll share with you. I'll share with you anyway. Moving on. So this may be my last question. So I know, I really respect your mind. I really respect your mind. I think, it's good to enjoy your music and then be able to sit back and enjoy your perspective on life as well. Legacy. Let's talk about legacy. When it's all said and done, when you're done with all of this, how do you want to be remembered as a person, as an artist?
The truth is that everybody will sit on TV and radio and say they want to be remembered. But honestly speaking, growing to the level I am at right now, and having experiences, all I care about is the impact I make on the people that I love and the people that are close to me, because the world doesn't really care about what you do. That is the truth. I know people, it's people you love who really care about what you do and the impact you have. So I can't spend time thinking about how people should see me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, I want people who care about me to take the baton and keep running, you know, because my job is done. And so when my job is done, you want to remember me, Charlie. Mad love to you. If you don't want to remember me, say mad love to you. I'm done. I pack my bag, I bounce. The rest be my back case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I will say I'm surprised. I'm surprised this answer is coming from you because
no, it's because I you can't spend time thinking about what you want to create as a legacy, but you can spend time buried in a greater version of yourself, because yourself as a human being who just has to be free. Because somebody might say, I have a legacy to protect, and so I shouldn't say this or I shouldn't do that. But you see, you are here to live your life to the fullest. And it's because of legacy somebody can tell you, but you are so and so, why are you doing A, B, C, D? Well, you're supposed to live life and live it to the fullest. And I keep saying that legacies and those things are good, but you have to live life. Your legacy should be what people know of you in their heads, but you shouldn't spend time trying to want the world to see you a certain way, because you might lose yourself. And it has happened to many people. I don't think Bob Marley wanted to leave a certain legacy. He was just being himself as a creative and doing music and trying to impact the world. And then when he left, he became a legacy. It was the same for Fela. I don't think he was trying to please anybody, because at that point in time, people weren't happy with what he was doing. You understand? And so I don't want to be trapped in that element of I want to leave a certain legacy. I want to be Edem to the fullest. I want to have my falls and my ups and my downs. When it's all said and done, people should say, oh, this is how I saw him. And the thing about legacy is that it's also a scope and a perception. And depending on where you are from, your perception of the legacy is going to be different. So I can't spend my time trying to be a certain way. I have to be Edem to the fullest, living life and walking through life because I have a purpose.
Right.
And somebody in the US might see my legacy different. Somebody from my village might see my legacy different. And so legacy is relative. And so I just want to be me.
I see what you're saying. So I hear what you mean about people creating what they think their legacy should be. But typically for me, when I say legacy, what I mean is something that is really important to you as a person, something in society that is really dear to your heart, that is also part of you and your DNA that you go up and dream.
So something that is very important to me is I want us to get to a level where we don't see places people come from, but we only see people. I'm saying that with all the passion because I've experienced hands-on how where you are from, where you are not from, is a determinant of how people relate to you or things you do or your progress, and how it's a judge of your talent, or it's a judge of it also even has a preconceived notion when you walk into a room. So I'm hoping that by the time I continue to push the envelope, we get to a level where people are just people because of what they bring to the table and not because of who they are. But people are just purely judged by their excellence of how much they push to be better better people or whatever you call it.
Absolutely. In other words, like Martin Luther said, a world where you get judged, it's about the content of your character and not, in this case, he said the color of your skin, but in your case, I'm sure you know where you're from, not where you're from, know your origin. But what you represent in the content of your characters. No, Edem. I lied. I said that was my last question, but I think I have one more. Otherwise, last I did.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So let's talk about globalization of Ghana music. And a lot of people we've had a lot of conversation on this about, how Ghana music can try. It's a global system now, and everywhere you go, right? Now people are becoming more open-minded to different genres of music. Look at Wizkid's Essence song blowing up everywhere, in the world, becoming on the billboards. How do we position Ghana to? I know that Ghana music is already traveling in some degree. How do we position it to be able to get to number one on the billboards as well? For example.
Honestly speaking, I could say my opinion out of experience. There might be some facts in there, but I believe that for us to play the global game, we have to begin to position ourselves where we are able to work with people who understand the global space. The Nigerians are not doing it in isolation. They are doing it with people who understand the global game. Burna Boy is not an island. Burna Boy has Atlantic Records, has Warner Music behind him. And so no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we as Ghanaian creators, we have to position ourselves to be able to attract these people so we can work together. And this I always tell our team when we are, I see as the America of music on the continent, and we are smaller, but we can wield the same power, and we don't have to have all the numbers that the Nigerians have to be able to penetrate. But of course, we have to work with the players who understand the space. And pundits can sit on radio and say whatever they like, but the truth is that they don't have the facts. They just have opinions. When you haven't traveled, you haven't sat in the boardrooms of Universal, you haven't been a part of the meetings at Atlanta, you don't know what it is. You just go and read online, but there's always a real game behind you reading the papers. And so there's always the actual scheme behind what you see in the front. And so artists and our teams and we have to come together to position ourselves where we can work with the powers that be to be able to have conversations, because whether we like it or not, these corridors have cartels and people who are in charge. And if they don't open the doors, you are not moving. You understand? Let's be very honest about, and if they want to keep you where you are, they'll keep you where you are. And so we just have to tickle their fancy and make sure that we in this conversations and we are good to go on the global scale.
You use some very powerful words. Cartel. I even use fraternity. It's like you're so on the money on this. This is so true. And I always tell people sometimes it's the engine behind the music ecosystem is being controlled by a very small group of cartels, like you said. And how we break into that is really how we play. It's really up to how we play.
Yes, because in as much as the pundits who say on radio or Ghana radio say that or TV that the artists are not crossing over, even they themselves know that within Ghana, some of them are also cartels. So why are you not thinking that it's the same thing that runs across the globe, but you're thinking that it's just convenient for somebody to just do a song that is so amazing that somebody will just take it and blow it up in America? Every song that has been done under the moon has been done before in one way or the other. We are just evolving. So you need to be with the people who make things happen, the power players. A phone call could get you through the door. And Thames is not an artist with multiple albums. They are Ghanaian artists with multiple albums, but they don't have the platform that Thames has. And so sometimes it's about the power play. And we have to position ourselves
to engage in the power play. And I think we should think global and stop being crabs in a barrel where we always have, every platform I say that all this internal beef, internal I'm better than you, is we are playing in a chicken chain space. And when we begin to think global, I think everybody will win and everybody will be okay.
So how do we attract the multinationals, the big record labels to Ghana, because they're in Nigeria, right? How do we get the Universals, the Atlantics, the Def Jams? How do we get them to Ghana to sign the Ghanaian artists as well? Oh, is Edem gone again?
Yeah, okay. I think he's frozen up again. Let me use this opportunity to quickly do some justice to Facebook.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So big up to man like DJ Lyrics. We've got Mike Afro Jam also listening and watching as well. Yawa Jiman, Selassie, just to mention a few. And we've got Yawajima is saying that he knows what he's saying so deep. And DJ Lyrics just reframed his question again. He was asking, okay, anyway, if Edem comes back, I think I have to put this question to him again. He was asking, is Edem personally monitoring or mentoring any young artists in terms of professionalism, creative process, and etc., because it is missing in most of our young artists. They just do music for music's sake. They don't really think about the professionalism side of it, and then being creative enough is also not part of the art. So I think when Eden comes back, we have to pose these questions to him again. And we would like to say a very big thank you to everybody watching us live on Facebook. It's been a while since we came to your screens as Black Star DJs Worldwide. Yeah, and a big up to my man, Quex. You're doing justice to the program. Hey, I love the questions and I'm enjoying myself. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Real KG is also here. He says a lot of reasons why we don't get this major play with these big labels. Well, Real KG, if you can just throw more light, or if you want it to be a question, just let me know and then I'll pose it on to Edem for you. Real KG happens to be the partner for our own PM. KG and PM, yeah, that's it. So he's also a follower of Black Star DJs Worldwide. He just said something that there's a lot of reasons why we don't get major plays with these big labels. I don't know which artist is going to come on this platform will be able to explain to us why we don't really get this big artists. But I think Edem has said it. Quex, if you agree with me, that that most of the big artists are channeling their energy towards each other in terms of beefing and who has what, who doesn't have what, and stuff like that. And instead of the focus that they're supposed to focus in getting these big labels to come in, and also like he rightly said, the system, the gum rules and all those things are not really helping as much as they should do. And therefore, we are not creating, we are creating local fan base. That is how I see it. We're creating local fan base for our artists. Every artist has got a kingdom. If they not got a kingdom, Shatter Movement, we've got movement, we've got Slay, whatever, different, but they are all local.
They say if you put 1,000 lions, right, and you put one deer in the forest, by the time they finish eating the deer, about half of the lions would have killed themselves, because
that's true.
Because one deer cannot feed 1,000 lions. However, if you have 1,000 lions and you have maybe 500 deers, maybe there'll be some peace. So the point is that the pie is not big enough, and whenever a lot of giants are fighting over small things, what ends up happening is that they end up fighting each other more. So, as you rightly said, we have to expand the pie for everybody. And that has not.
If you look at it the way you're saying it, that means if let me use someone like Stonebwoy. If Stonebwoy has Beam Nation, And he thinks wherever he goes in the region of Ghana, Tamale, Sunyani, whatever, there's a Beam Nation fraternity where, you know, they're going to make him popular locally, and he's okay with that. I think there's still a problem.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. That's all part of the small pie, right? You know, we have all the nations in Ghana, this nation and that nation and that. But what is the money driving the nations? You know, is the money in the system big enough that the artists can sustain themselves and grow their talent and expand their grow into the global space? You know, that one requires more than one person's money. That one requires serious investment in a whole ecosystem, a whole infrastructure that has to come into the system to propel our artists outside of Ghana to make money and capitalize on the global opportunity. So if we are just relying on just Ghana enough might be good enough for somebody to build a swimming pool in their house. But when we are taking it to the next level, you need serious money. And so we have to think about how do we attract the record labels, the big record labels to come they're in Nigeria signing their artists. We need them in Ghana to come and sign the Ghana artists.
Yeah, so with that, Quex, I want to ask everybody on Facebook and yourself and everybody watching, wherever you are. Maybe I'm a novice here, or I'm a new person that has not really looked deep into this. Do we have all this what's it called, like followers when it comes to creating nations and squads and kingdoms and stuff for artists? Do we have those things in the Nigerian fraternity? Because I've never heard anything like Wizkid having Wizkid Nation or Wizkid Sulele Boys or Burna Boy fraternity. I've never heard anything like that. So it tells me, I don't know, I stand to be corrected anyway, but it tells me the people channel, even though they're doing good music, they are trying as much as possible to also win the hearts of their followers, but not, to the point where they will feel so proud to say that, oh, I control, like we hear some of our artists say, yes, I'm the king of Shatter Movement, I'm the president of, come on, where are we taking that president to?
No, because I think you're also looking the wrong way. For me, the artists, look, an artist is supposed to make good music, get support and make good music. That's their job. You know what I think? I really think there's not enough business people in the music industry. That's just what it is. We don't have enough businessmen in the Ghana, in the African music space. Simple. Because the record labels that engineered the infrastructure to take American music to the next level, none of them, the business guys, the investors, none of them were artists. But Africa, somehow we expect the artists to produce good music and also somehow figure out a way to find money and build beyond the nations. So I think the artists are doing the best that they can. I think that they're doing good music and they're doing the best that they can to connect very well with their base. Now it's up to the investors, the banks, the brands, the businessmen to come in and facilitate the coordination between the global ecosystem and Ghana. That's what is missing, because we don't expect the artists to make music and also go and create those deals. The deals have to come. It's not going to come from the artists.
Yeah, but of course, I think this is something we will need to do a spotlight show on it, because I personally don't really agree with what you're saying, honestly. But let me say something here. KG has also brought something up. No. I just want.
Hold up.
No, the reason why I don't agree with you is, okay, fine. Let's agree to the fact that now, the artists are doing the best music. They are creating a fan base for themselves. Which personally, I know if we're gonna have all these big record labels coming down to Ghana as they are in Nigeria now, it's supposed to be the fan base that they feel they can, get their money worth for investing in the artists. If I'm right. Yeah. So now, if Shatta can build Shatta Movement, fan base, Stonebwoy can build a Beam Nation, Success, whatever, and all those people. Why are we still where we are? And it's not impacting on the fact that it will attract other or this big record labels to come, because if it's the numbers that they want, if it's the fan base that they want to know that yes, this particular artist is very popular in Ghana, and they've got it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is preventing these people for coming in and investing in their career?
You're talking about which people?
I'm talking about the record labels.
But the same way you don't expect Apple to go and just open a operation in Ghana just for because they're Apple. Somebody in Ghana has to go and tell Apple, you know what? Ghana is ripe for your business. Ghana is a great place, and this is why. 1, 2, 3. We have great artists who have big nations and blah blah. That's what I'm saying. That connector, that businessman, that person is missing. We expect that Apple will just see that there's opportunity in Ghana. No, it's not going to happen. It's not always going to happen. That's the thing between when you say the Nigerians, that's what they're doing. Their businessmen are approaching these record labels and negotiating deals that will help the whole industry. So we can't just expect that the record labels will just come to Ghana just because we have nations. That's not going to happen.
So if am I right to say that now every artist that we get to speak to, we do ask them, how can we get to this level? How can we get? Then I think we're posing the questions to the wrong people. KG is saying something here on Facebook, says there's a lot of loopholes, so therefore says, but we need to be marketable as well. The marketing side of it, all these artists have got their teams behind them. The marketing side has not got to do with Shatawale calling somebody himself, calling somebody at Sony Records or any of the big artists. So what is stopping? So I think that we are really trying to find an answer to this question: why we are not globally recognized as in marketing and on the marketing scope. But then I think we are posing the right questions to the wrong people.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that it's not necessarily their job doesn't mean they don't have an opinion. I mean, they've been in the industry, they're close enough to it that they can still share their opinion on what they think needs to happen, right? And at least hopefully when they say that will spark the brain that can start the business side of the music industry, right? So yeah, I think I mean, if in the absence of businessmen, they are the only ones we can ask questions. They are the only ones we can ask those kinds of. I don't know how we can ask those types of questions. So
oh my days.
So but anyway, I just heard that Edem's battery ran out, so he might.
Yeah, so he's not going to be back again. Yes. Yeah, but I've got something that KG just posted. It says to mention a few, our regions are not helping it, and also selfishness in the industry among artists. Our Niger guys make powerful plays and move their people in. When Ghanaian artists make a play, they make a solo move, so they look like the star. See?
Listen. I respect KG. I haven't met him personally, but I think that we have to start looking past this. And I'm going to stop being diplomatic and share my real opinion on this, right? Because,
let's go for it.
because I think we have to see the big picture. Listen, I just gave you the scenario. When you have small pie, people fight. It's just by default these things happen. Ghanaians are not by default any more selfish than Nigerians. By default, Ghanaians are any more small-minded than Nigerians. Nigerians are not in any way better than us. The only difference between what is happening in Nigeria and what is opportunity. They've been able to attract more opportunity. They've expanded the pie, and so they look like they are growing better. But when we don't because when you now make it seem like Ghanaians are by default just selfish and we don't know how to work together and there's no unity in the system and all of that, you're saying that the problem is not solvable. You're saying that it's because if you're saying that it's because of selfishness, then what is the solution? No, people cannot be unselfish. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that when you compare us to our brothers in Nigeria, the only difference is all economics. The only difference is that they have a bigger market and they are able to somehow attract the engine that will even make it even the industry bigger. And so they seem like they're growing, but there's still the same amount of selfishness happening. There's still the same amount of disunity happening in their industry. If you talk to Nigerians, they say Ghanaians are united. And when you talk to Ghana, they say Nigerians are united. Nobody is more united than anybody, and nobody's more selfish than anybody. We have to think business, and we have to think about how to expand the pie so that we can grow as an industry. That's my take on it. Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, all right. I think we'll have to put the brakes on this. But this topic really needs discussion, and I think we need to find some of the stakeholders in this business to also throw more light what their Nigerian counterparts are doing and they are not doing. Exactly. That might really help in the conversation, because if it's not down to the artists to do the good music that they're doing, and also now go out there to fish for some of these big whips to come onto their platform marketably in anyhow they can do it. I think we need to really find where the problem is. We need to really find it, because if we've got all these people behind all these big artists, they didn't come or get these opportunities just overnight. It's somebody somewhere who knew what how to push an artist works and is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. That is why we see them also going to that level in the music industry. But anyway, I think if we say we're going to go, we're definitely going to go.
We're going to go. We need a whole spotlight on this. So
it's a shame Edem is not here for us to do the second set for him.
I know, right? No, we'll still do the second set. I think that let me just close the show by saying still thanking Edem for coming on the show. I mean, this guy is an amazing artist. He's been very consistent. He was in the days when the movement really started, the hip life. I'm talking about the hip life movement. When the hip life really started, he came in with his own unique style. He took the most difficult route, but he proved everybody that it can work. It's all about the artistry. It doesn't matter what language or where you're from. If you are talented, you have the artistry. You can win playing it that way. So I really have mad respect for Edem for being able to pull that off in Ghana and showing the rest of Ghana that you can represent where you're from and still make it big. He's still making big hits today. After years and years of being in the industry, he's still dropping big hits and rolling even sometimes bigger than the younger ones. So mad respect to Edem. We salute you on Black Star DJs Spotlight show. We really salute you. We encourage you to keep bringing big hits, and we support you. Let us know how we can be part of your system. With that said, I'm going to say thank you to everybody. We have Kwasante queued in, ready to give us the second Edem set. So stay tuned. Kwasante is going to bring the heat. Kwasante, let's roll.
Yeah, so before I go, let me say a big thank you to Real KG for your contribution. And I believe next time when we have this discussion, we would definitely invite you to also share thoughts on it as well. Thank you to each and everyone that watched us on Facebook. Selassie, you're there. Real KG is there. Rita Jallo. Oh, Seresa, you be laughing, yeah. And also Yawa Jiman, DJ Lyrics, Mike Afro Jam, and of course, all the Black Star members, anybody following us, we're still here. Hey, we've not gone yet, so don't worry. Black Star DJs worldwide. I feel now you're about to see good things happening, even though it's been a while since we did the spotlight. But today, hey, we've had a good one with Edem. So I'll do a quick set for the final part, and I think I'm going to start with the street anthem that Edem brought it to us. It says, "Get to Arise." Let's do this. Quex, you confused me. You know what? Quex asked me to do this song especially for him, but I'll do the ghetto anthem first because I know Quex like that one, and I'll definitely do that one for you. Let me do the ghetto anthem first. That's right.
Shit, get them music. Hip hop to reggae. Hip hop to reggae. Hip hop to reggae. Nature. Shit. And they get to you to rise. Feel the vibe. Get them. This is what they get to you. Not afraid to stand for the truth. Let me see your light test up. I need to go right. I need to go right. They get to walk right one day. And they get to walk right one day. And they get to walk right one day. And they get to rise. They get to rise. Some know a look at you, Tina Nima. And them take her papa and mama. Every picnic and the beanie white. Them in on the yard dream, but fast here, man, she on a beamer. We they on. Him not give money for the fees. Can't find food to eat and sleeping on the streets, yeah. And you feel they gone and disease. Only hunger and greed and disease, yeah. They get to you. Not afraid to stand for the truth. Let me see your light test up. I need to go right. I need to go right. They get to walk right one day. And they get to walk right one day. And they get to walk right one day. And they get to rise. They get to rise. So we get a home girl called Tina. She lived down the road for Medina. Then we school have a degree, boy can't pay the rent. And she sleep with the money just for dinner. See that. She spread the boom boom for the money. And she know she not be do it, but she do it for the daily rent. And the world girl is so upon the boat of separation. From the good girl to a bad girl. This is for the
Two quite favorites.
we are ready for life.
I'm loving this song.
Don't get it. Delivery.
Okay.
Go get it. Number 4. Dikanye. Lamodi. Numadu. Onyayo. Mama to. Amao. Lafupam. Agbadokam. Lashima. Bakoba. Danaja. Babude.
Chorus part.
Babude.
With the hustle for her.
With the hustle for her. What's the hustle for her? With the hustle for her. What we gonna do? Get them money no that. And we just search up every corner every day. Hustle not easy, not for them around. It don't be easy on the blazing sun. Boys know they ho, we for make dough. God for bless we, oh hey. God for bless we, make we stop the hustle. Oh, for we the for boys the hustle for we the hustle for Mahama they hustle for everybody Nanado they hustle for Bolare they hustle for Ibrahim they hustle for Number 8 chains, they Messiah. I dey feel the crunch, I dey feel the crunch. For Kabi, for your area, for your hood, for the mommy. We dey feel the crunch, we dey feel the crunch. Feel the crunch, feel the crunch, feel the crunch, feel the crunch, feel the crunch. Feel the crunch. Feel the crunch.
I'm gonna do another new one.
Feel the crunch. Spicy rings there, Charlie. Be ready. Charlie, things. Banana fingers. Flavor go linger. For your mind, for your tongue, for your finger. Seafood rings. If you the love streams. If you the love things. Where they come from is sure. Number 8. Hey there, papa. Number 8. Eat a BKK. Are they Cali? Are they right? Number 8 cheese. They Messiah. I dey feel the crunch, I dey feel the crunch. For Kabi, for your area, for your hood, for the mommy. We dey feel the crunch, we dey feel the crunch.
crunch. Feel the crunch. Feel the crunch. Feel the crunch. Feel the crunch. Chocolate fingers, if you be lover man, your girl self go feel you, brother man. Number 8 is friends, it is sweet thing. Quick munch, as be the go lunch. Concones, that be the rice down for my people where they love a billy. Hey, number 8 chips, ain't go papa. Number 8 chips, every vintolo. I de cale, I de ride. Number 8 chips, they my side. I de feel the crunch, I de feel the crunch. For Kabi, for your area, for your hood, for the mommy. We dey feel the crunch, we dey feel the crunch, feel the crunch, feel the crunch.
Put me on the drums. Never so typical beats in the heat from the sun. I ain't living Marion Jones, the tracks that I run.
That was Edem. My bad.
I love this tune.
DJ person. Go get him. Style baby.
Style me ha.
So me ha. That's what me ha. On the beam. That's what me ha. On the pim. That's what me ha. On the beam. That's what me ha. I see I no pay. I say me the cat I no pay. The mami tabia. Ina me no. Now me say me pe style. The columbium. Na mami ha. So me ha. Na mami ha. On the pim. That's what me ha. On the beam. That's what me ha. Man, you never live in my style. Giving them some permission or BJ dog is 69. That be the shot she formula. Man, you never live in my style. Giving them some permission or BJ dog is 69. That be the shot she formula. I know go do make I use the tip. I know they like town, make it take a trip. Come home, Netflix and chill. Maga for crown, I go pay the bill. Now catch a yema low kodomi. As a govilo lo mazagada undongi. Boss they like that gala gala. Ta frisky dia fala fala. Hey, style na baby. Hey, style na baby. Style na baby. Hey, style na baby.
So me hana winyante so wa bomeka. Me kana winyan so wa womema. Me bona no pain ka say ahye ma. We china one fan to show and so me. Hey, ya ji azon to guess we chi. The can say the zone go there na ye free. Bongo ni nko so na ye di. Ya ni se mu ode no ni me se. So me na so me ha. Kone sa na bomeka. Koni pim na so me ha. Ni me so we jam me penisa. Oi so me ha.
That's what me ha. On the beam. That's what me ha. That's what me ha. On the beam. That's what me ha.
Well, guess who's back? Last two.
a garden may you party. I think you're the Facomino Bacardi. When you're video, you go me as a Beyonce, Mali. Nekon your Holland, you have a Gali. Mike check 1 2 1 2. My boy, Lola, Yanami, Nekul Hammer of the last two. I was a summer Ganyana, Jagado, John Yapago, Kumava, Corning, and Joe. When you're drinking, when you're TV, and I'm a Magavon, Crom, you are aphrodisiac. Yes, Mama Japanu, Mama, come and with a cat, wait, Tamanana, no Konya. Hell is simple, my people. I just too better, Abadimpo. Ever my Jadoma walk about me, Joe. Macadama, Kadama.
Yes, I better off of KKK for soon. I wish I could speak Igbe. You not a far pretty. How are you and the maga? Can you go on the whole dirty? The whole dirty. Nala sabu yelam, yana nama como, you know what's sweetie. You know what's sweetie. Beauty and the biz, the kaya in your beast, when your beauty. When your beauty. Mama maga phone call, as in your talk, my call and your call G. I want to send this to come at Tamabo. I know Mona Jani. And I need a G. I don't think we got a one lovely. Ever when you look at them, Adam forever. Kakaya Maka Pratico to Adam forever. I like this. Adam Maka Adam Maka